and welcome. I'm Stephanie Williams from Kalpita Yoga and I'll be guiding you through this short practice today. Today we're going to be focusing on the shoulder area. We're going to be releasing a little bit of tension through the neck, through the upper shoulders and the pecs. Let's get started. So today I am going to be using a block. It's up to you. You may have a block at home. If you don't have one, that's not a problem. You can do a lot of these postures without a block, and I'll give you some variations as we go through. If you do have even just a big thick book, you can even use that to sit on, which is really handy. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start today just with some movements through the shoulders. If you want to start sitting on the block, you can, otherwise you can sit grounded. So I'm just placing that underneath my hips there, and we're just going to bring the hands out in front and just start to take some circles in the wrist. So you might be hearing a little bit of clicking, a little bit of cracking, just helping to release some of the fluid there. And then the opposite way, or I guess creating a little bit more lubrication to our joints, and this is what these first few movements are for. And then palms face up, and then bend the elbows and extends. Bending the elbows and extending. Exhale to bend, inhale to extend. Just a couple more. And then on the next one, placing the hands on the shoulders and just taking some really nice big rolls of the shoulders. As you go around, it might feel a little bit like crunch, 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 crunch. But just knowing that that's just gently releasing there. And a couple more times around, and let's swap the opposite way. Just getting some movement, some energy moving, some chi moving throughout the shoulders. And then releasing. And then from here, we're going to set up the legs into cow face pose, or Gomukhasana legs. So bring the legs out in front, and this is where the block can come quite in handy if you do have quite tight glutes. I'm going to move to the side so I can show you a couple of variations here. So from here, you might bring your left ankle over to your right hip, and then you might bring the right ankle over the top. And so then here, knee stacks on top of knee, and you can use your hands kind of like struts to lift up and just sit yourself in a bit of a better position. And from here, you want knee to stack on top of knee. This might not be accessible for you in your hips, so the option would be to actually extend the bottom leg out. And when we do this and we're sitting on the block, it puts a little bit of pressure onto the knee. So you might actually, if you are extending that bottom leg out, is just to come off the block. And that might feel a little bit more comfortable. The other option is not using the block and bending the left ankle next to the right hip, and maybe you can be down here on the ground, and that's quite comfortable for you. This for me is a little bit tight, so I'm just going to place the block underneath the hips again. We're going to take our Gomukhasana arms, and we've got 3 variations here as well, depending on the shape of your shoulder and also the tightness through them. So bring the arms out wide, and we're going to bring the left hand underneath the right, wrapping around once, and then you might place the hands onto the shoulders, or you might place backhand of the back to the backhand, or maybe palm comes to palm. And so just work with what gets sensation for you. So you might start to feel a little bit of stretching through the shoulders here, you might be feeling the stretching through the shoulders here, or you might bring palm to palm. Lift the elbows up so that they're in line with the shoulders, and then press the elbows away, so you get this really nice opening sensation to the back of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. And I want you to really breathe into this space here. So closing down the eyes. Take a full deep breath in. And a steady exhale. Full deep breath in. And steady exhale. Inhale, lift the hands up. So we come into a mini back bend here. And then exhale, fold forward. Bringing the elbows over the knee, closing down the eyes, and just folding into yourself. Inhale to come back up, releasing the arms. And we're going to bring the left hand to come and bend behind the back. And then the right hand comes to stack on top. And then we're looking for this opening sensation through the tricep, maybe through the armpit a little bit, or maybe even down into the ribs here. So now we want to breathe into our right ribs. See if you can stay up nice and tall. Breathing into the left side. Maybe a little side bend over. And then inhale to come back up, releasing the arms. And then we're going to bring the hands to interlock, so fingers interlock behind the back. And then we're going to bring them over to your left hip. And then draw the left shoulder back. From here, keep your head, your shoulders even as you bring the left ear down to the left shoulder and getting a stretch through the side of the neck here. Taking a few breaths there. Make sure that your right shoulder is nice and relaxed. This isn't causing pain into the shoulders. It should be nice and easy, but just this really long stretch throughout the neck. Then we can turn the nose down towards the shoulder, and then this makes the stretch go a little bit more towards the outside of the neck, a little bit further to the back. And a couple of breaths here. And then gently lifting the head back up to center, releasing the hands. And then bring the arms up above the head, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. And then as if the elbows have been caught in a doorway, we want to draw the shoulder blades back and just a little lift of the chest. This helps to activate the muscles that we want to get to be using to support the shoulders. Releasing. And then we're going to swap the legs over. So depending on what variation you've taken with your legs, we'll swap over to the other side, finding a variation that suits you. So this time we're going to bring the right ankle by the left hip and then the left leg on top. Or you might have the bottom leg extended, even the block out. From here, take the arms nice and wide. And then this time we're going to bring the left hand over the right, wrapping around once, maybe twice, or holding on to the shoulders. Your choice. You might even find that this side's a little different to the first side. That's completely okay. We just make adjustments based on that. Lift the elbows up and then press the elbows away. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Maybe closing down the eyes, feeling the opening through the back of the shoulders. And then lifting the arms up, little back bend. And then folding forward over the shins, closing down the eyes, feeling the opening through the back of the shoulders. And then lifting back up, releasing the arms. This time we're going to bring the right arm up and bend the right elbow so that the hand places between the shoulder blades. And then the left arm comes on top, stacks on top of the elbow. Try to make sure that you're not jutting the chin forward to get into this shape. And just sitting up nice and tall, and it might be that the hand's a little bit more above the head than behind the head. Breathing into your right ribs here. Maybe a little side bend as well. And then lifting up, releasing the arms, and then interlocking the fingers behind the back. This time we have a grip that's a little bit more comfortable. And then if we move the fingers just up one, we actually come to a very similar grip, but it feels really odd. So we're going to have a little play with this one to bring a little bit more balance to the body. So bring the hands behind the back, interlock on the weird grip, and then bring the right shoulder back, and then right ear comes down to the right shoulder so that we get this nice stretching through the side of the neck. You might feel this a little bit into the deltoid, the front of the shoulder. Close down the eyes and just take a few breaths. And then lifting the head back up and bringing the nose now down towards the shoulder. And then lifting the head back up, releasing the arms, bring them up above the head, and then bend the elbows, cactus the arms, feel the shoulder blades drawing together behind the back. So it's this drawing together and down, opening through the chest, maybe a little back bend, and then releasing down. If you want to and you have time, now's a really great time to take a mini Shavasana, lying down onto your back, closing down your eyes for a few moments, and just allowing the practice that we've done through the shoulders just to settle in. Even just taking a few moments to close down the eyes and just notice the differences within your body after today's practice. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to meeting you next time on the mat. Hands to heart center, together we say Namaste.